Good day, I am Jessabeth Greta. I am your science teacher. And today we have our new lesson. And I do hope that you will listen carefully in this lecture because after this one, I will have an activity as well as an assessment in order to assess if you are listening or not, or you are learning something from this video or not. Okay, but before I will formally start my lecture, I will have this activity. So I will show you some pictures as well as letters. Pero yung letters na yon or yung word na yon is not complete. You need to fill in the blanks, the proper letter. And that letter or words describes something about the picture. Okay, let's start with the first one. Okay, so we have a bee and a flower. So, what do you think is the word that describe the picture? As what you can see, there's a bee and a flower. Okay, the bee is sucking the nectar of the flower. Okay, so number 2 pictures. Just guess because just use your initial idea about this one. Okay, let's test your idea about this one. Number 2 picture, you need to describe it using the blank words. Okay, you can see a skin as well as a bug. It's like a infecting the human. Okay, use the letters as clue. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next picture. Okay, you can see 2 organisms fighting for each other. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, use the letters as clue. Okay, next we have this one. A shark and a seal. The shark is trying to attack the seal. Use the given clues, the letters as clues. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Next picture. A shark and a remora fish. What do you think is the word that describes the picture? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do not worry, we will reveal the answers along the lecture. Okay. Okay, just keep your answer, and along the video, you will learn what is the correct answer on that specific pictures, each picture. Okay, so listen carefully, use your note, take note of the most important information that you will learn in this video. This will give you a hint about our topic for today.
When two or more species live closely together, they establish a relationship called symbiosis. In our life, we have many interactions with people around us. You really wish to kill some people while you are unaffected by some. There are some with whom you compete, whereas some whom you love. Similarly, when two different species come in contact with each other, there are many possible types of interactions that can occur. Mutualism is a type of symbiotic relationship wherein both the species benefit from each other, just like you and your friend helping each other for an exam, except for the fact that you two belong to the same species. A good example of mutualism is that of ants and aphids, who support each other. Ants can transport aphids to new plants to eat, and they can bring them inside the ant hill when it is too cold outside and protect them from predators like ladybugs. Ants do this because aphids' poop is basically a sugar paste called honeydew. Ants take care of aphids, protect them and transport them so that they can eat their poop as food. Since both the ant and the aphid are benefited in this type of relationship, this is called as mutualism. Commensalism is a type of symbiotic relationship wherein one species benefits whereas the other remains unaffected. It's like your friend peeping into your answers, which won't affect your performance in exams, but it will definitely benefit your friend. A good example of commensalism is that of a shark and remora fish. When the shark feeds on small fishes, it might leave leftovers which is consumed by the remora fish. The shark is unaffected by this, however, the remora fish is benefited. Competition is a relationship between two organisms that has negative effect on both the animals. This can happen when two animals are competing for food, land, or for a mate. It's just like you writing your exam seriously to score more than the competitor in class. Sometimes they may win and sometimes you may win. So, none of you is actually reaping full benefit from this relationship. Parasitism is the type of symbiotic relationship wherein one species is benefited whereas the other one is harmed. It's like a classmate exchanging answer sheets without your knowledge during an exam. Thus, they will benefit from your scores whereas you will be harmed. A good example will be of the dog and pigs. In biological system, mainly parasites live on or inside the host body and rely on the host for food and energy requirements, thus exhausting the host resources. The bacteria and viruses that attack us and make us sick are the parasites who are benefiting at the cost of our health. So we are at a loss. Parasitism is different from predation because parasites do not really kill their host. They just take benefit from their host. Predation is the relationship between the predator and a prey. The predator survives by killing and eating the prey. Luckily, predation is not observed in a normal school scenario. Examples of predation could be anything where a higher trophic level animal hunts down a herbivore or a lower trophic level animal for its meat. A good example would be the one with snakes eating rats. If this video was helpful to you,
Okay, so based from our video as well as the activity kanina, we can say that our topic has something to do with ecological relationship. I hope that you take note all the important information explained in the video. Okay, so ecological relationship that is done or that we can observe in the ecosystem. Okay. But before we proceed to our content or our lecture proper, let's have this first, our learning objectives. Okay, so as we have this lesson, the student shall be able to first describe the different ecological relationships in an ecosystem. Second, classify the types of ecological relationship. The third one is predict the effects of changes in one population to another population in an ecosystem. And the fourth one is appreciate the importance of ecological relationship on maintaining biodiversity. Okay, so we will attain this one after our lecture. Okay. First, we will tackle about ecological relationship. So this refers to the relationship between interacting organisms in an ecosystem. So the dependency of organisms on each other could either benefit or harm organisms and the relationship. Okay, so let's tackle about the different types of relationship in our ecosystem. Okay, so first we have the mutualism. Okay, when we say mutualism, it is a relationship wherein both organisms benefit from each other. So from the video, di ba sabi doon, dalawa sila na organisms na maka-benefit from each other. But there are three types of mutualism. Okay, so We will first talk about this one, the trophic mutualism. Okay, when we say trophic mutualisms, both organisms receive benefits from each other. From the word trophic mutualism. For example, as you can see in the pictures, we have lichens form a mutualistic relationship between fungi and algae. So, you can see that in the picture. Itong picture na pinakita ko dito sa gilid. So, the fungus or the fungi provides water and nutrients to the algae. And the alga provides food for the fungus. Therefore, nakabenefit silang dalawa. That is one example of trophic mutualism. Okay, understand? Next type of mutualism we have the defensive mutualism. So this example is given kanina sa video na pinakita ko sa inyo. Okay, when we say defensive mutualism, one species receives food or shelter and the other protects its partner from predators or parasites. So in the picture, you can see ants feed on the sugary honeydew left behind by aphids. So naka-benefit ng food yung ants. Okay, in exchange, the ants protect the aphids. Pinoprotektahan ng ants yung aphids from predators and parasites. So, di ba? Silang dalawa is naka-benefit sa isa't isa. Yung isa food, tapos yung isa naman is from predators. Kasi pinagtatanggol sila ng ants. So, therefore, that is defensive mutualism. From the word defensive. Okay. Okay, another type of mutualism, the last one is we have dispersive mutualism. One species receives food in exchange for the pollen or the seeds of its partner. So as what you can see, there's a picture of bird and a flower on the side of this video. Okay, so yung bird naka-benefit siya because the nectar of the flower serves as its food in exchange of the pollen or the seeds of its flower. Kasi nga, nakakatulong rin yung birds or other insects in the seed dispersal or pollination of the pollen grain. Therefore, yung dalawang organisms, they benefited to each other. Kasi nga, yung bird naka-benefits, yung flower at the same time, naka-benefits. Okay, let's proceed to another. Okay, so another type of ecological relationship is we have commensalism. When we say commensalism, it is a relationship in which one species benefits from association with another organisms, but the other organisms receive no harm. Okay, so from this type of ecological relationship, yung isang organism daw naka-benefit. Pero yung isang organism, yung other organism, hindi siya na-harm. Walang nangyari sa kanya. Okay, that is commensalism. In the example or in the picture, you can see a remora fish as well as shark. Okay, so yung remora fish in the picture, that is feeding sa mga tira-tira ng shark. Pero yung shark, hindi siya na-harm. Instead, naka-benefit pa yung remora fish. Kasi nga, kinain niya yung tira-tira na, or mga food residue na natira ng shark. Pero yung shark, hindi siya na-harm. Hindi siya wala nangyari sa kanyang masama. That is commensalism. Yung isang organism naka-benefit, yung isa is hindi na-harm. Okay? Commensalism. Another type of ecological relationship is we have predation. A predation is a relationship in which one species benefits from killing another organism. So, there are two participating organisms in this relationship, the predator and the prey. The predator is the animal that lives by killing other members of one species, and the prey is the animal taken by the predator as food. Therefore, ang malakas na organisms ito ang kumakain, tinatawag na predator. Ang kinakain, tinatawag na prey. And that is relationship called predation. Okay, so understood? As what you can see on the picture, yung shark, siya yung predator. While yung seal, na gusto kainin ng shark, siya yung prey. Okay, it serves as food to the predator. Next, we have parasitism. It is a relationship wherein a parasite benefits from its host. Okay, so the host is always harmed in this kind of relationship. And yung naka-benefit lang is what we call the parasite. And there are two types of parasite. Malalaman natin yan dito. Ito. Okay, two types of parasite. We have first, ectoparasite, from the word ecto meaning outside. So therefore, that parasite can be found outside the body of the host. Again, ang host, yan yung tawag sa tao or sa organisms na na-harm ng parasite. Okay. Again, ectoparasite outside. So as you can see in the picture, that is a tick or kuto na in-infect yung skin ng organism. Okay? Next, we have endoparasite from the word endo, in. So, meaning it is found inside the body of the host. Talagang makikita sa loob ng katawan ng host. Okay, so, this is an example of an endoparasite. That is a tapeworm infecting the intestine of an organism. So, di ba, napaka-beneficial para sa parasite, pero yung host talaga is maha-harm. Okay. So, that is our parasitism. Next, we have competition. Okay, competition is an interaction between or among organisms when there are limited resources. Okay, nangyayari itong competition lalo na kapag limited lang yung resources ng isang community. For example, in the picture, you can observe two organisms fighting for food. Hindi lang food yung kanilang pina-fight dito sa competition ha. It can either be shelter, it can either be food, or it can either be their needs. Okay, so competition occurs in the same type of organism. So as you can see in the picture, dalawang organism, same type, they are fighting for their food. Okay? Ang mangyayari yan kasi nag-fight sila or limited lang yung resources ng food nila dyan sa kanilang community or ecosystem. And this also happens to human because we are trying to compete not only for food but also for job, for shelter, at sa kung ano yung comfort natin. Okay, di ba? It is very, especially this pandemic, we are fighting for food kasi nga limited na yung resources natin and yung iba walang trabaho. Kaya nahihirapan tayo na makakita ng mabuting trabaho kasi nga yung iba is na-shutdown na yung company ng iba, so marami yung kawawa. So marami yung competition of job and marami pang iba unable to sustain the needs of the family. Okay. So do you have any questions? So let's proceed to the food chain. Okay, food chain is a series of links of how each organism gets its food and how nutrients are passed on to them. Okay, so that is an example of food chain. So as you can see, yung pinakauna talaga is the producer, which is the grass. Okay, followed by the primary consumer, the grasshopper. Then, the bluebird, which is the secondary consumer. The snake, tertiary consumer. Apex or owl, the predator. And the composer is the mushroom. Okay, so as you can see in the food chain, may mga arrow. Meaning ng arrow, eaten by. For example, grass is eaten by the grasshopper. So meaning, kung sino yung tinuro ng arrow, siya yung kumain. Or siya yung nag-use ng particular organism. Okay, so on that food chain, ang organisms na may pinakamalaking energy na tatanggap is the producer. Kasi nga, it gets its energy directly from the sun. Okay, so that is the producer. Then to be eaten by primary consumer was eaten by secondary consumer was eaten by the snake. Okay, and then the snake will die, eaten by the owl will die and will now be eaten by or decomposed by the decomposers and will used by grass para maging healthy sila or nutritious yung kanilang soil. Okay, now let's proceed to the food web. Okay, kanina is food chain, ngayon naman is food web. So, pag sasamahin natin yung lahat ng food chain, interacting food chain, makakabuo tayo ng what we call food web. Refers to the interconnected food chain in a certain community. Mas complex itong food web when compared to food chain. Kasi yung food chain one way lang, itong food web is marami interconnected food chain. Okay. So these are the relationship that occurs in our ecosystem and our community as well. Okay, if you have questions, feel free to ask me on our messenger so that we can proceed to our next activity. Okay, any questions or clarifications? Kung meron, just PM me. Or kung wala, let's proceed to our activity, which will be passed by you students. Okay? In order for me to assess kung how much you have learned or how far have you learned from this lecture or video. Okay, so you need to do this one. First, create a scenario that shows the different ecological relationship. It can be a form of drawings, illustrations, infographics, or etc. Then after doing that one, after having your scenario, describe the relationship shown in the scenario. If it is mutualism, commensalism, parasitism, so on and so forth. Then, state the importance of ecological relationship in maintaining the balance of our ecosystem. After you will conduct this one, then we will have assessment, okay? Pag tapos na kayo gumawa nito, proceed sa ating assessment, which is an identification type of test, this one. Okay, answer this one. Identify the relationship shown in each pair of organism. So number 1, ticks and dogs. Number 2, ants and aphids. Number 3, sea anemone and clownfish. 4, ascaris worm and human. 5, epiphyte and hardwood tree. 6, tapeworm and dog. 7, tilapias and a fish pan. 8, frog and lizard. 9, cat and rat. And 10, termite and protozoa. So please avoid copying the answers on the net. Avoid copying the answers of your classmates. Answer this in your own understanding based from the lectures that we had. Okay, is that okay to you? Good job. Okay. So if not, meron pa kayo mga questions with regards to our lectures, kindly message me and I will answer all your queries. Okay, so I thank you for listening and watching, and I do hope that you learned something from this video, and I do hope that you're okay in your home. Please stay safe and goodbye. See you soon pag natapos itong pandemic, and hopefully matapos na ito. Bye. God bless us all.